Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Philly Brutes Rugby Roundtable. And I'm pleased to be joined from the lads from Birstall Rugby Club. How are you, gents?
How you doing, right?
So yeah, welcome. Thanks for giving up some time. Zach, if you want to start us off, introduce yourself. Let us know a bit about yourself.
Okay, so Zach Winston, been at the club for about coming up to 9 years now. Obviously played number 8 as it says there, and I'm one of the first team co-captains. All round good looking guy, basically.
Thanks for coming. Goose, welcome to the show.
How you doing, mate? Thanks for having us. So yeah, Goose, head coach for the club. Been at the club now for about 5 years or so. This will be my second season when it gets up and running as head coach. So yeah, looking forward to getting back into it with the boys.
Yeah, won't be long. And finally, Ryan, nice to meet you, mate. How are you?
Nice to meet you too, pal. Name's Ryan. Most know me as Brownie. Our club captain was voted last year, so I didn't really get the starting role of that one, but eager to get into it and running.
Excellent.
Been there for 3 years now.
Excellent. Well, thanks again for coming on the show. Brownie, do you want to give us some background on the club?
Yeah.
Or read your notes?
For sure. I've got them perfectly around the room, just in different areas, so I can say it as an happening. The club was founded in 1976 by some school teachers, originally called Birstall Community College RFC. We had an affiliation with the community college in Birstall, where we played for many years until we moved in October 2017 to the Co-op Sports Ground on Birstall Road. Carrying on that sort of tradition of school teachers and students ever since. Just keep dragging them along. Yeah, Zach's one of them. I'm not sure I quite made it as a school teacher, but says he's one.
Cheers, mate.
That's about it, really.
So how many teams do you guys run?
We've got a ones, and we're trying to get out there as a twos. We're growing year in, year out. This year we're trying to get back into the to the twos leagues. We've tried to dabble getting in a ladies team. We just keep on trying to get in as many sort of numbers as we can to get as many sort of people in as we can, really. Keep everyone engaged, the more the merrier.
Definitely. And Zach, how has the last 12 months been with all the lockdowns?
I think, me personally, the first one was not so bad. The second one a bit more of a struggle, which is why I'm so glad I've got the lads around me. Just long, isn't it? I'm guessing everyone's in the same boat. Everyone wants to get out and smash one on the pitch, but not even be able to do fitness together or just play touch. It's just crazy, isn't it? It's got so many people down. It's probably done Brown in the world of good, because one name he forgot to mention was Glassman, because he never lasts 80 minutes. But well, I get that in. But it's just tough. I think I don't know if you want me to go too deep into it, like mental health and stuff like that. I think it's been a struggle for quite a few people. One thing we said, we've got a lot of teachers at the school, and we've also got quite a lot of ex-military lads there as well. So they've experienced mental health in the past. But I think this is quite challenging. Like, I don't think everybody's been in the same boat together at the same time before. So I think it's all new, but just I can't thank the lads enough. I'm sure every rugby club's done the same, just getting around each other. We've done like fitness sessions together. I think we did like groups of 5, I think it was, and we went out and did as many miles as we can, but obviously individually, but as teams, and we did something like 1,400 miles with that. It's just giving that little spur of the moment things to keep going and get through it. And obviously there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Fingers crossed it's not going to change again, but yeah, just looking forward to getting out of it, to be honest.
Got to keep working on handstand press-ups, don't you, Zach?
Yeah, I've learned how to do handstand press-ups, which is one thing. I mean, when I first started...
Show us. You got to show us now.
It's a bold statement.
We're going to get a lot of stick for this.
There we go.
I'll try. Can you see me? Yeah. Oh, God.
At least he's got pants on today. He should feel honoured.
Yeah, no. Here we go.
And that was the video he sent me earlier.
Oh, the clock's going to come down.
I'm glad you said clock.
Yeah, basically, I don't want to show you the clock because I've been decorating, but I left it there as a joke. I just went around it. Yeah. Oh, you bastard.
Yeah,
look out, opposition, eh?
So, Goose, how engaging the members of your club over the last sort of 12 months or so?
To be fair, the boys are really good at it, like Zach said, looking out for each other. We've got there's a big friendship circle at the club. Everybody has got their own individual friendship groups, like you do at most places, but as a whole, everybody tends to sort of, just check in on one another, and sort of we've held various things like Zoom quizzes, like I think most people have. Everybody's got their the two WhatsApp groups, one you don't talk about, and one that has lots of information in it's relevant and useful. And everybody's just our club in particular, it's a unique bond. There's everybody knows everybody somehow, and it's a real pleasure to be around. And the guys that Zach said, have sort of really clubbed together in the last 12 months to just to sort of check on one another and just check in and stuff. And I think that's sort of that's vital, especially with what we're going through, because it affects different people differently, doesn't it? So kind of engagement's been led by a few other people running different challenges. Like Zach said there, Kieran ran a particularly good challenge, which kind of just brought everybody together. We did when we were allowed out to play. We did a charity bike ride to Skegness with one of our sponsors, which was raising money for the air ambulance. I think we raised something like £2,200. So again, that brought boys together, and even if they didn't take part, they just put a hand in their pocket and supported the lads where they could. The boys as a whole are just brilliant, mate. And it's not taken too much hard work to do, just because of the group that we sort of have around us. So quite lucky in that aspect. But certainly been tough in testing, but it's been pretty impressive and admirable how the guys have all come together and stuck together as such.
Do you think it's been harder since Christmas in sort of lockdown 3, I guess, than it was in the first one a year ago?
Yeah, 100%. I think when it first happened, it was a bit of a novelty, and I think we were all a little bit excited, weren't we? I think the first time round, it was a bit of something we'd never experienced before. And I think, speaking probably the majority of people, it was the evenings were lighter, the weather was warmer, so it was quite nice to sort of be in the garden having a barbecue, and spending some time, I guess, at home and repairing the body. And sort of probably for these guys as well, it's quite nice to have that forced break to allow those little injuries and niggles to recover. And personally, come Christmas time, I was kind of itching to get back out there. So obviously we'd experienced 2 kind of lockdowns before Christmas, and then that third one struck just after Christmas, which was I think it was inevitable it was going to happen, to be quite honest. But it was it's been a lot tougher the third time round. I think everybody's just kind of sort of fed up with it now and looking to get back out there and just see one another. And it's that social element that you miss, and the option, like the option to go to the pub, or the option to drop your mate a message, see if you fancy a beer. It's not necessarily about going out and getting sloshed every night and doing all that sort of stuff. It's just having them options taken away and that freedom, I suppose. So yeah, it's been the third time around. It's been a lot tougher, I'd say.
Gents, have you got anything you sort of? Yeah, well, yeah, is that? Is there anything you wanted to add to that about it being tough over the last, probably more so over the last 3 months than the 8 months, 9 months before?
Well, it's been difficult in respect to the engagement. We've had less sort of engagement. We're trying to keep people engaged. We even had a Q&A with Adola that got arranged, that seemed to get a fair few different faces that you didn't quite see for the quizzes, because not everyone's into quizzes. I finished last in most of them. It's pretty demoralising. But you turn up week in, week out to get a ribbit. That's all you're after, really. But the last time, it was kind of hard to get the numbers there. Something different like the Nadolo Q&A was, an impressive thing for us. We tried to keep people engaged with social media and doing a player focus, which got a lot of people out there. We ended up with a lovely one speaking about mental health for one of our lads, Bambe. That was inspirational in sort of him coming forward and speaking about his own sort of troubles that he's had, which was really heartfelt. A real good read. You don't always sort of speak about or hear about often enough, but something that we all should be doing a lot more.
Absolutely. Do you think you mentioned a bit earlier that you have this close bond between all of you and you're all friends? I play for a one-team club as well, I know you say you try and get twos out and you get a vets club out. There is just something about the 15 or 20, 25 group of guys that has a bigger and better bond than, say, a club with 4 or 5 teams. And do you find that at your club?
I think for me personally, I think you got that 15, 20. I think I don't know if we're quite unique. I've only played for one team other than when I played in the army. But in this case, someone's going to slag me off for mentioning that because they always say, "Oh, you're in the army." Yeah, I've said it again. But I think to me,
just keep bringing
we
it
have
up.
got like a solid 40, 50 players. We have, and
Yeah.
we would get a twos out, but it'd never be the same twos each week. And I think that's the struggle.
Sure.
So we do have those bonds, but then we're also having to borrow second players for the first team when Brownie goes down and stuff. Sorry, Brownie, I'm just going to hammer you all night.
Keep going,
I think you're right. So you do have that very close bond with that 20, 25 that have come, but we're fortunate enough to have loads of people around, but it's just been injuries and other stuff. And talking about one additional struggle is like people have started to lose people now, and I think that's really affected some people in the club. And that's just why I can't be thankful enough that we've got people around us. So yeah, I do agree with you, but I just think we have got those extra players. I don't want to forget about them because even though they're there every other week, they're still important. I know you're not saying they're not important, but
No, of course. We have probably a core group of 10 people that play every week, and then it's another 30, 40 that might play 2 or 3 games a year.
yeah.
So on the books, we've got enough for 2 sides, but we haven't because some, just like you, failables, injuries. So we scrape a 15. So moving on to rugby then, we are due to be able to play some sort of rugby from Monday. Monday the 29th, depending on when you're listening to this. That Stage D will be activated. There's still some stuff that will be coming out tomorrow, some slight changes to that. But are you excited? Are you trepidatious? Are you nervous? Or you just want to get out there?
Yeah, I think we'd all be lying if we said we're not anxious to sort of get back down there. And yes, everybody will give it big and say, "Oh yeah, I can't wait to get back down there." But it's going to be a bit of anxiety. There's going to be a bit of trepidation. It's going to be a bit of nervousness around returning back to get down there. Even though we're all mates, it's something we've not done for 12 months. So different people will have different feelings towards it, and it's just about making people feel as comfortable as possible. So some people will just stroll into a changing rooms like nothing's happened, but then some people might, you might need to go and catch up with somebody in a car park who's kind of a bit, tentative to come back down. So I think it'll be interesting to see, but sort of going back to that close bond that the guys have, I don't think that's going to be much of an issue. I think it'll be pretty easy and a nice transition back into it. And from the messages and stuff that have been pinging about and excitement so far in the WhatsApp groups and whatnot, I think a lot of people are looking forward to getting back down there and just seeing one another really and stuff. So it's going to be good.
Do you think that's the biggest thing, more than the actual playing rugby itself? It's the being together and seeing each other and
I think so. Yeah, I think sort of like touching on our rugby side of things. I think the thing for me was when I took over was to get that off-field environment right, which would then take care of the on-field stuff because there's a hell of a lot of talent in the club. There's some absolute golden individuals that could go and play at a lot higher standard, and it was never about the quality of the player or the standard at which the guys play at. It was just about getting that off-field mentality right and creating an off-field environment that everybody wants to be a part of, and that kind of sort of set us apart from a lot of clubs. The togetherness and the bond was there, but we just needed to build on it, and getting the right people in the right roles to represent us as a club was key to that. And getting the right people as captain and club captain and just some characters involved in place was hugely fundamental in what our success was before the lockdown period. So we're quite fortunate aspect that we've got a hell of a lot of talent, and it was just about putting together the pieces off the park really that really helped and paid dividends for us.
Gents, are you excited?
I just want to get on the pitch. I want the high balls come in so I can drop it and knock it on. Laugh at me.
Man after my own heart.
we obviously, I don't know if you know this, but I'll plug it anyway. We won the Junior Bays, and that was our last game, unfortunately. And then we had one more game to play against Leeds, and if we won that, we're playing at Twickenham. So there's a lot of heartache out there for the lads, and I know they just want to get on now and take some anger out on some other people. That's what I want to do anyway.
I'm used to this long weeks of playing.
Yeah.
So I'm a pro at this for sure. But this is the first sort of club that I've had where, you know, normally you get injured and you go into a mode of self-pity. But yeah, just can't wait to get back out there, get playing again, get injured. It's going to be great.
So what does the summer for Birstall look like? Pre-season, training a couple of days a week, or are you just going to ease yourself back in?
Whatever he says, he's going to lie because the lads are going to watch it. So he's going to say, yes.
And I'd just be watching. It's going to be dead easy. Nothing to worry about. No sweating, no vomiting. You'll be fine. No, it'll be. So we're just easing back into touch, mate. To be honest, so we're just going to ease back in slowly, and it's about, like we spoke about earlier, is getting the guys back down there and feeling comfortable again back in the environment and just chucking the ball about and just seeing the mates again, because it's been, you know, a 12-month period we've not seen one another properly. And so first things first is we're going to get down there and, you know, we've outlined a bit of a plan. So the next sort of month or so we're going to get touch running, and then we're going to have on Tuesdays we're going to run Fat Club, which is pretty much to get everybody back to some form of fitness, because we've probably all done various bits of fitness over the last 12 months, but some may not have done. So it's all about just, you know, getting them people back into doing something different again and getting fit and having fun with it as well. So we've got a bit of a plan, and, you know, if the fitness is going to be based around fun, and then we'll have a couple of weeks off, and then we'll hit pre-season properly, like probably most clubs will, and then before you know it, we'll forget there's a pandemic and we'll be chugging beer and enjoying ourselves. So fingers crossed. Sounds
like a good plan. Not sure about the vomiting and that's all the fitness stuff. Yeah, I won't come down for that one. So Ryan, tell us about the goals for the club over the next sort of, well, I guess year. Going into the next couple of seasons, where do you want to be? Do you want to be back in that Vase final? Oh, for sure. You know, getting that trip to Twickenham's really a sour point. You know, we were so close to getting there, and we didn't even have an opportunity to finish the job off. In a sense, it was just, I suppose, lucky that, you know, we got to play the final, really, because that was, as we say, the last game just before the whole thing kicked off. So if we didn't even get to play that would have been probably even worse. But now we also got promoted.
Feeling now, though.
See that?
Not as bad as they're probably feeling having lost that game. Just saying.
Well, no comment.
I'm known for being a novice, so I've got to play the part.
Yeah, mate, absolutely.
That's the reason you were here. But we also got promoted from Midlands 4, so there's no reason why we shouldn't be thinking of, you know, keeping that sort of run going, even though it was a year ago. You know, we still want to keep progressing. Numbers have steadily increased year on year since I've been there, and keep growing to have the stable twos. Like you say, sometimes you feel like you can't quite get it out there, but if we can get more numbers, more quality, keeps driving everything up, you know, from the bottom to the top, it's just going to keep going, you know, forever and forever. How do you go about trying to find the next crop of players to join the club? It's all about recruitment. At the end of the day, people turn up for a session and they'll feel the love instantly, like I did 3 years ago. It was, you know, turn up, watch a game. I watched the game. I sat in the clubhouse. You know, within 5 minutes after the game, everyone's surrounding me. You know, like I've been there for years. You know, and you're kind of the centerpiece in a sense, and you just, you instantly feel like you belong. And that's what Birstall's sort of all about. You know, that real family feel. We get family engaged with everything. The wives let us play at the end of the day. They decide, not us. So keeping them sweet. Surely, the world's biggest pass has got to be given to everyone that plays rugby. They spent 12 months at home. Let them get out now. For sure. But you got to earn that. And our club has helped get, you know, my wife, my kids engaged with the club to you know, allow me to play and spend more time down there, which is, they're engaged for me. It's great. As we come to the end of this chapter, what we like to do is just ask everyone the same question every week, and we'll go around the table. It's for one hope and one fear for either yourself or the club or the sport in general over the next 12 months. So Zach, we'll start with you.
My hope is that everybody comes out of this in the right way and they start to come down again, if we're talking about the rugby club. and they stay coming because to me, I know how important it has been having the lads around me. When I left the army, I never thought I'd find camaraderie like that. Camaraderie, can't even say the word. But like Brownie said, I found that here. So just, even if you don't feel like getting engaged and you're just stuck to not playing, I just hope that people do come down and that we get into the final again, which leads me on to my fear that we get Clee Hill again and they see what I've just said and I just get nailed. With respect to that, they're a really nice club and I was only joking. My fear is my hope and fear are the same thing. My fear is that some people are not going to find the strength to come down and get out of this because no one's been there before. And I think just every rugby club needs to get around everybody and encourage them to get out and start engaging again. And the families, like my family, my kids love coming down and playing with Brownie's kids. Everyone's all in there together. So I think that's my hope and my fear that people won't.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for that. I really appreciate that. Goose, hope and fear?
Hope and fear. Hope that people not played for a while get back involved. So you probably see a massive increase in players that haven't been around the game for quite some time for various reasons. I hope that they'll see how much it's brought to them and the happiness given to them and they start to creep back in and get involved as a club it is, which then kind of flips it on its head that, the fear is that there's going to be clubs, like Zach said, that they're not going to get necessary support or not going to be able to survive this period because there's a couple of rumours over in our neck of woods in Leicestershire of some pretty big clubs that potentially might not be able to survive and it'll be an awful shame to see those guys not survive, if that makes sense, not from a selfish point of view. Because at the end of the day, rugby's a community game, isn't it? And we've all got to look out for each other. And
if a club like that doesn't survive, then you've got no one to play. So we need everyone to sort of to be doing well.
Definitely, yeah. And we all like to have a bit of banter with our opposition in our nearest and dearest clubs and mates and stuff. But equally as well, we all have that admiration and respect for one another. So, it'd be nice to sort of see all clubs fulfil the games they can. And that's kind of like where I'm at with my hopes and fears of it all. So,
good, thank you. And finally, Brownie.
I hope to play more than my record of 8 games in a year. That would be really good.
Again, probably one of our best players. I will give him some credit. He's probably one of our best players.
Oh, Zach, you two can't argue that 10 later.
I had the same issue of playing 8 games a year for about 5 years. I played 8 games a year. It was due to work commitments, and on the first year that I didn't have work commitments, on the 9th game I broke my leg. So I still only played 8 games that season.
At least that's an impressive injury. Mine are just little silly niggles that come here and there, and it's random bits. Like Johnny Wilson in that regard, just constantly breaking down. It's ridiculous. But look, I'm hoping everyone comes out of this. Relatively
wait, can we just stop there, Brownie? Did you just compare yourself to Johnny Wilkinson?
listen, I was watching last night. He was the first one that cropped in my head. I'm more of a Neil Backman myself rather than Johnny Wilkinson, but probably it is odd.
Andy Goon.
No need. But no, look, similar to what they've both said, we just hope everyone kind of comes out into the world after this COVID's gone and, falls back in love with the game. They're not kind of had a year out and gone, do I need it? Do I want it? And the game's able to carry on surviving and thriving. The fear is ever going to go back to that way? I mean, the fear of losing the Rucks, the Mauls. I mean, the way the game's going now with red cards left, right, and centre in the actual Premiership games. What's going to happen at our level of refereeing? Are you going to be able to jackal anymore because your head's put in a bad position? And I understand protection and all that, but it's kind of getting to a scary way that the game is going to be officiated out of being rugby. We're going to end up just, playing league effectively.
Which ain't a bad thing.
And I'll be out of the team, mate. All I've got is a good jackal.
Yeah. That's what I'll tell everyone. I've got a choke tackle and I've got a driving maul, and that's it. And if I can't do both, what have I got? What am I going to be able to do?
You have to be a presenter.
But mate, you might get more than 8 games a season if you, if it's rare.
Yeah, might get suspended.
Can we ask you what?
I'm only 5'8".
Sorry.
Can we ask you what one of your fears are, Sean?
One of my fears. No one has asked me that, But yes, pretty much the same as yours. That we have this massive focus on getting women into the game, and that's great, and it's doing really well. Numbers are skyrocketing, and there's a great sort of feeling of love in sort of the grassroots women's game. My fear is that the same love isn't being put into the men's game. Okay. So the women's game will have the Inner Warrior series, which did really well, brought 25,000 new players into the game, or whatever it was close to that. I feel that the men's side of the game isn't being taken as seriously because it's not being taken as seriously, and participation numbers are dropping rapidly. I fear what is going to happen. What has this done to the game, especially at social level, second, third team level? You're going to see clubs that were thriving, like 4 or 5 teams, and that shrink down to 1s and 2s. So that is my fear, is that there are people that aren't going to be coming back, and it's going to have a real big effect on the game.
Definitely.
Well put. Well put.
Yeah. So that's my 2 cents. That's what we're trying to work with the RFU about, trying to put something together like the Inner Warrior series to bring either new players who have never touched the ball before, but give them the opportunity to learn the game rather than just being thrown out on the wing on the first game and you learn the hard way. Give them a 6 or 8 weeks coaching plan, with really good coaches, and then after that they can, there'll be rugby players that will hopefully stick around for a while. But we'll see. Let's get through the summer, and then we'll see what happens in September, October when league rugby starts coming back. Then we'll see what the real effect has been on the last 12 months.
Definitely.
But I really appreciate. Yeah,
it's not as inclusive. The props, and no offense, but your props and second rowers, your front rowers might feel kind of not.
Oh.
It's not their style of game, and I think it's up to us though at club level to make sure they get in there still. Whether there's mauls, we still want to let the Shawns play, the Shawns of the world play, whether you've got a maul or not. And it's up to us at club level to go. You feel like you're sacrificing. Don't want to be disrespectful, but you're going, well, you're not as fast to play this faster paced game, but we're throwing you in anyway. You deserve to play like the rest of us do at the end of the day. Scrums and lineouts rejecting, it's irrelevant. You're still going to be part of a team, and every club needs to be doing that, I feel.
Yeah, I'm 6'8", 20 stone, and slower than an elephant. I've got no place being playing ready for rugby, but I'm not doing a handstand.
Because your feet will hit the ceiling.
God, yeah. Yes, but it's there's no place for guys like me or props, as you said, in that type of game. So if the adapted rules don't start, or if they don't come in until maybe a bit later than they're planned, there's not much. If we're not going to be scrummaging, not going to be being able to maul, it's
as I say, that's down to clubs down to clubs to still throw you boys in.
Of course,
at the end of the day.
of course. But I think if from a player's point of view, if you're not being able to scrummage like you've been doing for the last 20 years or whatever you've been doing, you're going to feel just sick of the running, sick of not being. That's the bit I love about the game. I love the tackle. I love the ruck. I love the maul. I love the scrummaging. All the other stuff is just sort of not white noise. It's the running stuff I don't care for, but let me get stuck in. And if I don't have, if guys like me don't have the opportunity to get stuck in a ruck or a maul or a scrum, then we're just going to sort of fall by the wayside. And we need people to stop being healthy, and so we can have a next generation of props.
This is why we've brought a room full of forwards to this, all right?
Exactly.
Wow, Goose. Technical 9.
Three forwards, I've got older. The weight goes up, shirt number goes down. That's the way it works, isn't it?
always. But gents, I really appreciate your time. It's been really great to chat to you. I hope you've I've really enjoyed chatting to you. I hope you've enjoyed chatting to me too.
Yeah, it's been great.
Good.
Everyone watching, everyone listening, if you haven't already, go to rugbystore.co.uk, get 10% off FYB Pod. That's the bills paid. Yeah, check us out again next week when we'll have another rugby club that we will hopefully. I don't know. That's rubbish. Oh my god! Right.
They will interview and put online, and you can watch next week.
What he said. Right. Lovely. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.